So I've been really feeling the UK garage vibe recently, especially by people such as Higo and Jemmy, which has a more of a jazzy R&B feel. So I wanted to write a track in this style. However, I'm not a classically trained musician. So I reached out to my good friend Keyboardgrinder out in the west coast of Canada. So I'm going to show you the process on how I collaborate with other artists remotely across the world. By the way, my name is Stranger, and if you want to improve your music production and sound design, especially with drum and bass and dance music, then this channel is for you. And make sure to follow Keyboardgrinder down in the links below. He's doing live streams on Twitch regularly, and he's fun to watch. If you're a beginner, then make sure you check out my Ableton Essential Exercises on Skillshare. It's a 4-part class where you'll learn the basics of drum programming and writing bass lines. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see me create more videos like these. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok where I'm producing additional exclusive content. Also, comment down below and let me know what other musicians you'd like to see me collaborate with on my channel in the future. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into it. So to build my UK garage beat, I started with a basic house beat. If you guys need to know how to make a basic house beat, then I recommend you guys to check out my Ableton Essential Exercises on Skillshare where I show you the basics on drum programming as well as bass lines. But here's the basic beat. And then for some funk, I added some ghost hits using snares from break beats for a more raw and rugged feel. Notice how the beat is a bit off the grid, so it's more humanized and groovy. Now I went in and pitched it up by 6 semitones. And then I shortened the decay so it's nice and tight, about 130 milliseconds. And to add further funk and groove, I layered a breakbeat. Again, tighten up the decay by 750 milliseconds. I added a bit of drive from trap drive and EQ'd a bit, removed the low end. And then I muted all the kicks and hi-hats and only kept the ghost snares. So we have this. Let's hear it with the entire beat. Notice how much more groove and funk that adds. And the reason why I muted all the other hits is I just wanted to focus on those ghost hits and I didn't want to clutter up the beat with all the other kicks and hi-hats from this breakbeat. So this is a nice technique to add a little more funk and shuffle to your groove. I then added this scratch sample. Now what's cool about Ableton samplers, there's a slice mode. So if you click on slice, you can map each slice to a different key. So now you can sequence it to the beat like this. I thought it added a nice, cool, organic vibe to the beat. Almost sounded like a beatbox. Alright, so once I got the basic beat, I just bounced it and sent it over to my friend Keyboardgrinder out in the West Coast. He's a friend I met through a friend and he's a super talented jazz player and I just wanted to let him roll with it and see what he came up with. So here's a few snippets of him playing to the beat where he adds a bass layer, some chords, and then a lead. All right, so let's chime in with Keyboardgrinder, and he's going to let us in on his process and how he wrote this piece. All right, everyone. So we have Keyboardgrinder here out from the West Coast. What's going on, man?
How's it going? I'm good.
Yeah, I'm very good. Very impressed by the keys that you dropped for this little beat, man.
Thank you. I'm honored to work with you, man.
Sweet, man. So just for the audience, could you tell them a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
I'm originally from the West Coast, Vancouver, BC, but I studied jazz piano in Toronto at the University of Toronto, and I lived in Toronto for 10 years. So I feel like a big part of me is still an East Coaster in Toronto, but I live here back in the West, and I'm teaching piano, doing gigs, playing at hotels, and doing a bit of producing too.
That's
So
nice, man. I was
yeah.
watching some of your Twitch archives, and you do some pretty cool stuff. And I like how you play like to different beats. I heard you do over like housey beats, even lo-fi beats. I think I've even heard you do some drum and bass. So that was cool.
Yeah, I've been trying to do like different genres because I started out with just like lo-fi jazzy stuff, but
Yeah.
I feel like I felt kind of boxed in with the genre, so I wanted to venture out, do more like electronic stuff, and I've actually watched a lot of your videos,
Dope.
even on stream. Like I would open up your videos sometimes and just like kind of introduce everyone to you and be like, "Oh, this is where I learn a lot of my sound design and like just techniques." So
Oh, that's awesome.
props to
Thanks
you,
for
man.
sharing, man. Yo, big up, man. All right, so I'm really excited for you to show our audience how you wrote this piece for our UK Garage Beat. So I'll just let you take over, man.
All right, yeah. So a lot of these house beats they use like parallel moving chords, what I like to call. So it's like you take one chord in a certain key and you move it in different keys. So for example, if we take D minor Dorian, so D minor Dorian would be in the key of C major, right?
Mhm.
So I just move that around in different keys and see what I want. Like sometimes a minor third sounds pretty good, you know. So I'll do something more rhythmic so you can just kind of see. So that's just a minor third. I can do other things too. You can do anything really. Any interval works, I think, because it's a parallel moving chord. It's the exact same thing moved up however many steps. Your ear kind of recognizes that, right? So let's try different. Let's try something weird, like a tritone. So that still sounds like it still sounds good to me. I mean, like, does it sound? So with the tune there, what I did was I was just moving up whole steps. So I think I was in the key. I started with E minor, I think, and then I went up a step, and then another step. Then I went back down. So that's like the basic process of how I did that tune.
Man,
If that
that's
makes
so
any sense.
funky, man. And I learned a new term. I never heard of parallel. Was it parallel movement chord?
Parallel moving chords. Yeah, it's just like basically you take one chord and then you transpose it up or down, whatever to whatever key you want it to. So like you don't have to do this with just minor chords. You can also do this with major chords too. Say
Right.
like C major 7, something simple. You know, that sounds pretty nice.
Yeah. Man, once you add a little bit of rhythm and that bass part is just so funky and groovy.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So
it's
dope, man.
yeah, and also like adding little melodies too. So it's like so I'm in C if I'm C, say if I'm in C, you know, I play in like C major. Then I'd go up maybe to E flat. So now I'd be playing E flat major. And then go to maybe A flat. So it's a pretty simple concept, but it sounds very rich.
Yeah, now it makes sense because you're right. I listen to a lot of house music and even drum and bass. They do that now
Mhm.
because I have less music theory. So I never knew there was a term for that. But essentially, they're just using the same chords but moving it into different keys, and they can create
Exactly. Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool movement like that. That's
I don't
all.
know if that's like I don't know if that's like the official term,
Mm,
but that's what me and some other people call it. Like like me and my
It,
friends. So
that term just makes so much sense. Hopefully
it
it
makes
catches
sense,
on.
right? Because it's you're
Yeah,
moving. It's like a parallel motion.
yeah,
You're not moving anything. It's just
yeah.
everything's moving the same way. So
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome.
yep.
Well, yeah. Is there anything else you want to show?
Another thing, it's the same concept, but then so that one I was moving up 3 times, right? Like
Yeah.
3 chords, but um, a lot of tunes even just move once. So
Oh
just
yeah.
going from maybe like so you can even have just one chord or
Yeah.
2 chords. I mean, like one movement. So um, yeah, I hope you
I,
guys can
I
take
noticed
away
that
from that.
is yeah, and actually that I hear is done a lot in like house music where you just have 2 chords. And do you have any tips on how you can make that interesting?
I think the biggest thing is the rhythm. Even something simple, like something that you can catch on to, like da da da. And also like improvising a little bit over it. For D minor, I would use like an A minor pentatonic. So if I'm using A minor pentatonic for D, then I can use B flat for like E flat minor. So the pentatonic scale would be also moving in a parallel motion.
Yeah.
So A would be like. So yeah, you can play around with the pentatonics like that and make cool melodies.
That's so sick. You're dropping some secrets. Yeah. I mean, I think our audience is going to love this.
Yeah, awesome.
Sweet. Keyboardgrinder, just want to say thank you for sharing us the little secrets there, and hopefully everyone
Of course.
can find some value in it. And yeah, we should jam sometime. Love what
Dude,
you do.
yeah, I'm so down, and thank you so much for having me on your channel. Appreciate it.
Sweet, man. Awesome. We'll do it again.
All right, man. Peace out, guys.
Hey, if you want to support me, you can grab a number of my products. I have a gnarly Serum preset pack with over 150 bass melting bass presets. As well, I have some Ableton project files to jumpstart your next idea. But if you're not ready yet, you can pick up my free Serum preset pack and my free sample pack. For more information, check the links down below. All right, so then I got the MIDI parts from Keyboardgrinder and I just dropped it back into Ableton. And here's the chords. Now it's pretty complex. He is an accomplished jazz player and he does some crazy wizardry here where he combines different keys. So I'm playing this with a patch on Pigments. There's a really cool, almost kind of disclosure sounding pad sound called City of the Lost. I thought this was perfect for the chords. So here it is. And then I just play an octave lower in the next phrase. And then I put in his bass notes, and I'm simply playing an old school techno square bass with Serum. If you want the preset for this, then check it out in the link below. And here's the bass line on its own. And here's the lead melody, which he recorded straight from his analog synth. I believe it's a Dave Smith sequential synth, super fat and analog. Oh yeah, this is why I love working with accomplished musicians. You can get this vibe and feel that you can't with just drawing in notes. And then I found this vocal from good old Splice. It just worked perfectly with the track, so just popped it in. I lowered it by 2 semitones to match the track.
You don't know about me, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. You don't know about me, you don't know.
All right, so those are all the parts to the track, and I just arranged it a little using an 8-bar phrase, introducing and exiting sounds at certain parts. I also use this cool pitch drop plugin to do kind of a vinyl stop at the end of the phrase. It's always nice to get that kind of sound. It's a free plugin for Max for Live, and you can find it down in the link below. One cool thing I did to the pads after this video that I forgot to mention is that I added the duck plugin to create that ducking effect. Now you can do the same thing with sidechain compression, or you can manually adjust the volume of the pad, but check this out. I just thought that added a nice touch and change up to the pads. All right, without further ado, let's check out the track in full. All right, so that was the track, and I had a lot of fun working with Keyboardgrinder. That's the magic that can happen when you collaborate with other artists and musicians. Also, I'm really interested in getting this track finished and getting it out. If you represent a label that does UK garage or this kind of style of music, reach out to me. Would love to talk. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed watching my process on how I collaborate with other artists around the world. It's amazing how the internet can bring talented people together and create great things. And shouts out to Keyboardgrinder once again for making this awesome piece. I encourage you guys to seek like-minded musicians and collaborate, because it's a good way to learn and you're going to make great music. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, keep practicing, and I'll see you at the next video.